Hello and welcome to Follow the Money. I'm China Barachina. Let us explore the tools and insights you need to jumpstart your financial journey. Markets have been buzzing between recent PSE rebalancing and the F&I incident shaking confidence. It's a reminder that not everything that looks strong today will hold tomorrow. It's a little like watching Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. On paper, two different worlds, but when match is right, the results are undeniable. The same goes for money. The stock, the habit, or the income stream has to fit you, not just to look good in the spotlight. And that's what we'll test today. Our guest has built her brand around financial literacy and investing for students. But beyond the likes and the shares, do our habits, stock picks, and diversification strategies really hold up? Let us find out. Joining us now is Kate Reig, a content creator and financial literacy advocate. Hi, Kate. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Miss China.
Thanks for guesting with us. So let's rewind a little bit. You said that you have been engaged with the markets at the age of 8. How is it growing up? What was your first aha moment?
Okay, definitely it was about my mom's influence on me because ever since I was young, we were already very immersed with financial literacy. So I remember when I was around 8 years old, during the car rides, we would have podcasts playing about Warren Buffett and even just personal financial literacy. So one time, she actually invited me over to this Truly Rich Club seminar. And I remember being so young and didn't know that you were supposed to save around 8, 9, around that age. And I remember during that time, I said to myself that I was like, why do I need to save up my money? I could just buy toys with with 100% of the things that I get. And then that was the seminar that actually taught me that, you know, it's important to be intentional with your money, where it goes. And yeah, so that's how it went.
So not all Filipinos, I was always discussing this with other guests that we have, that not all Filipino household will grow up talking about money and financial literacy on the table. How is that possible for you in your case? Can you give us a background of your mom and how did she start bringing it up to you when you're growing up?
Sure. So I think my mom was very instrumental in my growth as well because even when she was younger, she was also very into financial literacy. So right now she's a coach as well. And at the very heart of hearts of my mom, she's an entrepreneur. So that's what she taught me. And I know that finance is something that's pretty taboo in most households. But what my mom always taught me is money is a tool. And it's not something that will be your end-all, be-all, but it is a tool so that you can have a lot of choices in life.
That's pretty much, she probably is very proud of you watching us right now. So at the age of 18, you started investing actively.
Yes.
What was your very first stock pick and what did you learn from it?
I think when I was 18, I was very excited to just get into it and just dip my feet in the water as soon as possible. So I think my first one was a well-known food and beverage brand in the Philippines. It's a restaurant, Jollibee.
Okay, as you should be.
Yes.
Like kids would really love to invest in that, and it's a good buy at this point. So in terms of like buying that, what did you learn from it?
I think going into it, what I learned most was how important research is and also how important like looking at a stock holistically. Because I remember during the first time that I bought it, I just looked at, for example, do I support this company? Yes. Will I buy from them? Do they look okay? Then I invested in it. But I think during that time, another really important learning for that was the importance of long-term investing. So I remember once I bought with my own money that particular stock, I kept checking it every day, every hour if it would go up or down. But I realized that sometimes, and especially as a student, it's pretty important to look at the long term.
Was it nerve-wracking for you when you clicked
Very.
when you clicked the buy button?
Yes, very.
So many students, you have mentioned a while ago that you would rather spend money on toys, which is, I think, is a very natural or normal for kids and like growing up. And many students struggle with money discipline. What would you think is the single most important habit that they should develop early?
I think the thing that helped me the most is tracking my expenses, because I believe that if you're not in a good financial position in your life, whether it's early on or later in life, the first step really is awareness. So looking at, for example, where is my money going? Everything that I spend on, whether it be a Starbucks drink or a big purchase for my hobbies, I have a Google sheet where I track everything,
sheet.
and that's connected to a different chart, so that every month I see where like the biggest categories that my money goes to. So I think really looking at where your money is going is very important.
So when did you start learning about Google Sheet? I was about to say, no, it's not a good. But when did you start using Google Sheets to address that budgeting issue that you know that it is a need? When did you start doing that?
I think I started around maybe 3 years ago. And then I took it more seriously around 2 years ago, because I realized that even though it's sometimes annoying to look at your expenses and just it feels so restricting, it is a need if you want to change like how you view money and your relationship with money.
And how much did you spend for the first investment that you made?
For my stocks?
Yeah, for your stocks.
I would say for the initial one, around 10,000, around
so
that.
I would like, I asked that to you because I don't want them to think that you have to have a lump sum of money to start. And it's good that you started small. And how did you try to build it like over time? Are you the type that put the money in on a monthly basis? Or is it like, what is the frequency of adding to your investment? How do you budget it?
For my investments, I remember, yes, I didn't start with a big amount, and even my mom was telling me that it's okay to start with small amounts. So how I did it was every time, since I'm a student, I get an allowance. So every time I would have a certain amount left over, I would make sure to dedicate some of that to my stock investments. So I think just being consistent with it and not trying to time the market, but just being consistent with my investments really helped me build that habit.
In terms of like, looking at today's PSE, what do you think are the biggest challenges of young investors? What are the challenges that they are facing?
I think the main challenge that young investors are facing definitely is being intimidated by the stock market. Because I remember when I first started, I didn't really know, for example, what the index was or how to even buy or purchase stocks. So I think just the awareness level is kind of lacking and something that can be improved. And especially looking at which stocks to buy, that's an important thing that people really have to think about. And yes.
So in terms of like you were saying what stock to buy, in terms of like getting stock in a stock that is currently a hype, how do you personally filter between a hot stock and a truly valuable investment?
I think how I filter is definitely looking at a business as a whole. So I'm thinking, for example, if there's a business, I look at whether I understand it or not. And then I also look at the management team. If, for example, the CEO has been there for a long time and the company has been having great returns, then maybe that's something to look positively in. I usually am okay with missing out, for example, with hype stocks, as long as I'm consistent with my investing for the long term.
In terms of like, right now, how many stocks are you holding in your portfolio?
10 to 15.
10 to 15.
Yes.
And how did you decide going through each stock? Did you buy it like how many in one go? How many stocks did you buy in one go? Or what was your process in building that 15 stocks in your portfolio?
I think for the very beginning, since there is a board lot and I didn't have like much capital, I just started with around 1 to 2 stocks. So I bought them on the same day. So that's Jollibee and another stock. And then after that, I didn't really know how to do research yet. So I built upon that maybe to 5 stocks. And then after that, I started looking more into different types of stocks. So the growth stocks or even looking into REITs. So those are the things that I look forward to.
So do you hold REITs right now?
Yes, I do.
What REIT do you hold?
I hold a REIT and C REIT.
Okay. So in terms of like building your investment, apart from the stock market, do you have other investment instrument that you go for as well?
I mainly focus on the stock market for now.
And then have you tried like for people your age would try cryptocurrency, how do you find that? Is it something that is too risky for you at this point, or have you tried it before? What was your take in that?
I've definitely tried it before, and for me personally, my risk appetite as a student is pretty minimal, and I'm
Risk
looking,
averse,
yes,
okay.
I'm really looking for investments that are stable. So that's something that I'm still researching about, and I try to approach with caution.
Okay. So would you recommend, how many stocks would you recommend for a starting, like a student like yours, would recommend start to, if you're gonna start building your portfolio, their portfolio, how many stocks would you recommend them to have?
I think when you're limited by your capital as a student, which I totally understand because I came from that as well. I would say maybe 1 to 2 to 3 even could be a good starting point, because that will help you just get a feel of what it's like to purchase a stock or even look at the fundamentals of a certain company.
Okay, so in terms of, so let's go a little bit to your content creation naman. So when did you decide that, this is something I know about investing or other stuff that I know? When did you start to think, oh, I can do content creation and I can try it out?
Definitely around 3 years ago, I started. So since I really wanted to focus more on student life and financial literacy and even education, I wanted to look for a gap in the market. So before, in that time, the gap was internships. So that's where I started. But then around 2 years ago, I started venturing into financial literacy. So just sharing what my mom taught me and what I taught in the seminars or even from self-study. So that's what I tried to share. And then I saw that people were really interested in it. And even people my age wanted to learn more about it. So that's where it grew.
What was the first video that gone viral that you created? Yeah, for your channel on TikTok.
Maybe the internships, that one. Yeah, that's what really boosted my account. And then from there, I built a following, a community of students. And then that's where I entered the financial literacy.
All right. So we are just warming up. Follow the Money returns after a short break. Still with us is Kate Reig, content creator and financial literacy advocate. So Kate, let's go back to content creation. You have grown 42,000 followers on TikTok. And when did you start seeing the build of the content that you're making? And when did you decide to, because you started with internship, right?
Yes.
When did you decide building about investing or investments?
I think I started to see the growing phase of my TikTok after the first 2 videos. I think I would say I got pretty lucky because the internship content that I produced hit it off really well. So I think that's how I started. And then with regards to starting with financial literacy, I focused on that maybe 2 years ago. So that's when I started to just share money tips that I've learned, and then it seemed to resonate with a lot of people.
And then for that, how did it become part of your money journey, being a content creator? When did you start monetizing your channel?
Actually, from the beginning, I didn't think of it as something that I can monetize, since I thought only big creators can do that. And I said that if I only have this amount of following, I'm not sure if I can do it. But I realized that as long as you offer value, as long as you're value adding to people, then you can monetize that. So for example, with my content creation, what I learned from that and how it contributed to my money journey was I learned how to negotiate, how to basically talk to people, to stakeholders, for example, and to basically offer packages, for example, with my content creation. So with that generated a new income stream for me as a student, which also helped me save up more and contribute to my investments.
So what is it, a type of ito na yung pumapasok, you are an influencer already of a certain brand. So were you surprised when it was first offered to you?
Yes.
Okay. How was
Yes.
it? How did it go? What was the circumstances when you first had that first offer?
I think my first offer was for an AI software company for students. And I remember feeling so happy. I didn't know that it could happen to me because I was like, oh, I'm just a student and I'm not sure what I can offer. But I realized that as long as, for example, you have an audience and you have a community, that's what brands really like. And that's what you can monetize as well.
How did it, so what was the turnout, like of
It
the
went
project?
really well, yes. So I got to work with them a few more times.
Okay.
And yeah, we're still in touch to this day.
Oh, nice. So what's the biggest misconception people have about creating online content?
I think the biggest misconception is number one, that it's easy, and number two, that the market is too oversaturated. So for the first one, it being too easy, it's a common misconception because people think that you just prop up a camera, you film yourself, and then you're good to go. But there's a lot that goes into content creation: the script writing, the filming, the editing.
How do you do it? Like, do you have a team, or do you have, like, how do you process that from the time of the conceptualizing a content to production?
I think it's more of me working with their team. So it's me going back and forth with my script and seeing if it works, and then also tagging my friends along with me. For example, for a video content, they're going to be the ones to film me, and then they also get to join in on the event.
Oh, okay. So given that, aside from content, what are the other money machines that you have, and that, as you have mentioned, investment, business, or collaborators?
Other than that, I'm focusing more on different things. For example, with my social media manager role, that's another income stream that I have. And that's also why I started my TikTok journey. Because, for example, with internships, I was able to basically generate that new source of income. And then now I'm looking into different ways to monetize as well my community, and basically creating businesses that will fit that financial literacy education gap that I'm seeing.
Based from what you mentioned to me earlier, it's your mom who influenced you about
Yes.
the finance or financial literacy part. But who influenced you in terms of, like, content creation and having a media presence? And what type of influence did it say? Okay, this is something that I would want. What are you looking up to? He or she will be the one that I will look up to when it comes to content creation and money building, probably.
I think it would definitely have to be creators from the US. So there's one named Ali Abdal, and he's basically a doctor who also creates tech content and even how to create content online. So he was my main influence going into it, because he always impressed upon his viewers that it's okay to look like a fool for the first few videos because you're just starting, and basically it's okay to learn as you go. So he was my main influence in that.
And if you're not doing financial content or financial literacy content, what are other niche that you do as a
I
content?
would say it would probably be beauty and tech. I'm very into AI and wearables, and then for beauty, I'm very into makeup. So those are the
that's
two industries.
opposite things.
Yes,
Yeah, but
very.
but I think as a as a young woman, you definitely will be into makeups.
Yes.
So what was your are you reviewing products for
Yes.
brands? What was your first?
My first, I don't remember anymore. Maybe it was Maybelline or Get Ready With Me Cosmetics. Yeah.
Okay, and the latest one?
The latest one would have to be Lancome. Yes.
So are you doing your own makeup?
Yes, I do my own makeup.
Okay. So who taught you that? Like, who taught you those types of, like, doing makeup on your own at a young age?
My sisters are very girly, so especially my older sister, she's the one who taught me how to, like, present myself, makeup and all. So yeah.
Okay, nice. So how about, so let's go back to, like, if you're not doing a content of, like, if you're not doing doing digital content right now, what do you think are other hobbies that are, like, lurking in the background that probably your next phase to explore? Yeah.
I would say, since we're raised in a very entrepreneurial family, it would be starting a business. So my mom always told us that it's very important for you to find new ways to generate income. So whether that's starting a business in financial education, I just want to create something that will educate other people, especially people my age, so that we could all build a community together and learn together.
I'm just curious, with the ones that you're creating, what was the weirdest comment that you got?
With my TikTok?
Yeah, with your TikTok.
I would say it's probably about investing, and then
What was that about?
they
what
would
was the question about?
they would ask things about why I go for a certain stock when this is happening, and then that's something that's happening is totally unrelated to the stock market. So I don't know how to respond to those personally because it's totally unrelated. But that's probably the farthest thing.
Okay, and how did you react? Did you react? Did you react to that question, or you didn't address it? Just let it be.
I think somebody else commented and
so there was a
defended me.
conversation. Okay.
Yeah.
So going back to stocks for 2025, what are your go-to stocks and why?
Based on my research, personally, I have a few stocks in my watch list. So I've seen that Pure Gold is having a really good expansion plan, really aggressive. So that's on my watch list. We'll still do some research about that. And then I also have A-REIT and C-REIT. So since C-REIT is in renewable energy and the Philippines really has a lot of aggressive plans for bringing it into the energy mix, that's something I'm looking into.
Okay. So those are the stocks that you bought this year, or you're looking into
Yes.
this year. So which sector excites you most right now? Like, is it banking, consumer, tech, or energy?
Definitely energy. Because I think that, first of all, it's something that is still budding in the market. There's a lot of demand for it, and there are only a few players. So there will be a lot of innovation and a lot of research that's been done, a lot of innovation, a lot of competition that could drive up the prices.
So do you also or consider global stocks, or are you only focused on the Philippine market?
For now, I'm focused on the Philippine market. Global stocks definitely sound very exciting to me, but that's something that I think I will master first, home base, PSE, and then treat it as my playground before I actually go into the global stock market.
A lot of Gen Zs are very experimental when it comes to getting into crypto, getting into stock market, or getting into other investment instrument outside the Philippines. But what's your own rule of thumb when it comes to diversification?
I think definitely when you're starting off, there's not much room for diversification. But as long as you keep investing, there will be some room for that. My personal rule of thumb is looking into different types of stocks. So for example, you have your blue chips. So those are the stable companies. And then I also go for REITs. And then I look for different ones, so the growth stocks. And then I look for the ones that are stable, because of my risk appetite.
So if you have 100,000 pesos today to allocate, how would you split it between stocks, bonds, funds, cash, or side hustle or business? How will you divide it since you are a student and considering your age? So how would you do it?
Personally, I would say around 40 to 50% in bonds, because I feel like that's the most stable asset that you could have. But the thing is, you won't be as liquid. So if that's something that's your spare money, that's okay. And then 30 to 40% in the stock market, because it's really good to basically learn how it works and also have a go at it. And then the 20% I would dedicate to my side hustles and especially upskilling yourself, because I believe as a student, your best investment is yourself and your education. So that's what I would do with the 100,000.
All right. So Kate, now we'll go to rapid fire.
Okay.
So you don't have to explain, just pick one on top of mind. All right. So blue chip or mid cap?
Blue chip,
Short-term swing or long-term hold?
long-term holding,
Dividends or growth stocks?
dividends,
Index fund or stock picking?
index fund,
PSEI 2025, are you bullish or cautious?
bullish.
Complete the sentence. Money follows you when blank.
Money follows you when you study it.
Okay, and how about money is the root of all blank?
Money is the root of all happiness.
All right, thank you, Kate Reig, content creator and
Thank
financial
you.
literacy advocate, for sharing your journey from first aha moment about money at age 8 to investing as a teenager and now helping students build habits and strategies in finance. Thank you so much, Kate.
Thank you so much, Miss China.
All right. So every strong brand starts with trust, as Jeff Bezos once said, "Your brand is what other people say about you when you're not in the room." At the end of the day, headlines come and go. Stocks rise and fall, but the real test is finding what works for you and staying consistent. You can follow the noise or you can follow the numbers. Because just like the perfect duo that clicks on and off the field, the winning formula is about alignment, income streams, investments, and money habits that truly match who you are. The market will always test you, but zoom out and the bigger picture is clear. It continues to follow the money upwards. I'm China Barachina. Stay curious, stay sharp, and always follow the money.